Good evening, namaskar, and welcome. My name is Peter Abraham, and I am delighted to welcome all our viewers back to this final table of the second marquee event of the FTS 3.0, powered by SpartanPoker.com. This time, we are here to make the beautiful mind game that we all love. That's, of course, poker, which is a game beyond limits. And that's the hashtag for the FTS series, of course. And we're about to start yet another final table of the FTS. This time, the event number 5, which is the Saturday Special. And this, of course, is going to be an 8 max final table like our event yesterday. And there's 40 lakhs in guaranteed prize money in this particular event for a buy-in of 7,700 rupees. 502 players registered for this 7,700 buy-in tournament, and 7.79 lakhs is what the up top prize is going to be, along with that 18-carat gold medallion and some special goodies as well, which will go to the champion this evening. Let's take a quick look at the prize money that these players are going to be fighting for. Like I mentioned, 7.79 lakhs right up top for the winner of this contest. And that's followed by the second place, who's going to get 4.95 lakhs. Third place is going to get 3.71 lakhs. Fourth place is going to get 300,000 rupees. Fifth place, 2.36 lakhs. Sixth place, 1.8 lakhs. And the last two payouts, 1.32 lakhs. And everyone is assured of 97,000 rupees as a takeaway for just being at this final table. Now, it's going to be an exciting tournament that we're going to see the finale of. And joining with me are two of our commentators. First up, we've got one of the esteemed experts from the world of poker. He's also a fanboy of our medallions. That's, of course, Sam Razavi, who has cashed in more than 200 live tournaments. He's finished runner-up in the 2018 WSOP Millionaire Maker. He's also been crowned the Player of the Year at the Asian Poker Tour 4 times in a row. That's right, consecutively 4 times in a row, the APT Player of the Year. And, but who cares? We don't give away medallions just like that. And Sam, you're going to have to earn it, or maybe charm one of the winners like you've been trying to do over the course of all of this time. Sam, welcome to the broadcast. Great to have you here once again. I'm not sure we can hear you, Sam. All right, we're going to try and get Sam's audio back very, very quickly. But in the meantime, let me introduce our second commentator who's going to be joining me on this broadcast. That's Mahima Walia Das, who, of course, was there with us yesterday as well. Her debut at this FTS as a commentator was yesterday's event. And while she calls herself a casual leisure player, her results have definitely not been something that's very casual. She's got a bunch of titles to her name. And so let's welcome Mahima Walia Das to this broadcast. Mahima, great to have you here once again. I think we should be in for another exciting final table.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, quite looking forward to today's game. So many pros here, and I've also got a couple of favorites from the Indian circuit.
Nice.
So it should be a fun watch.
Yes, it is. And like Mahima said, there are some players here who are regulars on the circuit, a couple of not so new names and a couple of new names at this particular final table anyway. So we're going to take you through all of those players and what their stacks are at the moment. Right up top, leading the chip counts, is Arsh Grover, who plays as BigGTymeR. And Arsh is... well, what can I say about this player? You know, he's won 28 lakhs and 23 lakhs in the Millionaire Legends on Spartan Poker. He's also won the FTS kickoff event and the FTS leaderboard in November 2020. 63 big blinds is what Arsh has. That's a little over 3 million in chips. Next up, we've got Mithun Mahesh playing as Zima Blue. And he has also got a number of big titles to his name, including the Millionaire, of course, which he won in May 2021 for just under 20 lakh rupees. He also won the APT High Roller at Pokerbazi for 16.5 rupees back in August. So coming off fresh from a whole lot of wins and in good form with a stack of 58 big blinds is Mithun Mahesh in second place. Next up, a familiar name for all of you who have joined us for yesterday's broadcast, all the way from Straya. Well, not exactly from Australia, but that's his username, Australian accountant. I'm guessing he's done a bit of studying out there, crunching the numbers. Is Akshay Kapoor playing in this final table, back-to-back final tables in these marquee events for him. 15th in the WSOP circuit main event in Sydney for 26,000 Australian dollars in November 2019 was his last big finish. And he also finished in 7th place in yesterday's tournament that we saw right here on the live stream. 45 big blinds for him, 2.1 million in chips, that is. And he is followed by Karan Radia. And Karan Radia, who is playing as Majestic, is a 36-year-old player. Not much information about him, but he's got a little under 2 million in chips. That's about 41 big blinds for Karan playing as Majestic. Next up is Manas Kalita playing as Silver 555. Again, a player who we don't have much information about, but Manas is also sitting on one of the shorter stacks, 17 big blinds for him. And that makes it for about 800,000 in chips. That's what Manas has got. In the bottom three now, we're getting into Sahil Chudani, a very, very familiar face and name on the circuit, playing as Slim Shady 19. Sahil is got a stack of 15 big blinds, which is a little over 7 lakh in chips. And he says that his big event win is yet to come. I don't think so. Sahil is a really, really well-known and very good player. So we should see him doing something good, hopefully, at this final table as well. Second last on this list is Mohammad Azhar playing as Cupid Stunt. I see what you did there, Mohammad. So he's playing this 24-year-old, won the NPS main event at Pokerbazi for 50 lakh rupees back in June 2021. He's one of the shortest stacks. 12 big blinds is what Azhar has. That's about 566,000 in chips. Last but not the least, playing as Stoned is Rahul Kumar. This 30-year-old won the Sunday Super Stack at Spartan Poker for a little over 7 lakh rupees. And he is the short stack with 11 big blinds. That's 536,000 in chips behind him. So we've got a whole bunch of experienced players. And even the ones that you're not really familiar with, these are the kind of chip counts that all of these players have got. I don't think there is all that much. It's very evenly split into two sections, like the bigger half is on the top 3 or 4 counts, and then similar counts at the bottom of the stacks in the counts as well. So it should be an interesting sort of a final table that we've got. Sam, I think we have you back on audio.
I'm not sure.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We've got you back. So, I mean, Sam, first of all, I'm always going to review a little bit about the medallions. It's just the way we do these things at the FTS. But I think perhaps you recognize a couple of names on this list.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I switched off my sound, because you were saying you don't give away the medallions that easy. And I just thought, well, I don't give away my time that easily, so I'll keep quiet. No, I recognize a couple of names. Yeah, we've got Slim Shady, obviously, right up there. And Australian accountant coming back from yesterday for to try and seek justice after that was a brutal run, having quad queens, and then just a few hands later having the queens one more time. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting final table. 3 or 4 short stacks, but not too short. 11 big blinds is very playable, so it's interesting to see how this final table plays out.
Well, Mahima, I'm sure you've been, the number of tournaments you've played in the recent years especially, you have been on both ends of the chip count, in a sense, on a final table as the stacks, as the bigger stacks, or even at the shorter stacks. Let me ask you, in the situations that you've been the shorter stack, is it an easy sort of a situation to be in because there's not much play there, or are you looking at, really grinding it out with every single hand that you get?
So shorter stacks are relatively much simpler again, because you either shove or you fold. So you just need to get your pre-flop shoving ranges correct. So I find it to be relatively easier. With chip lead, I probably can tend to spew at times. So I try to be a little more tight in comparison.
Well done,
But yeah.
Mahima. That's the harsh truth that a lot of players might shy away from, but not Mahima does, because she knows exactly what playing poker at all of these final tables is all about. Any particular people that you have your eye on for this final table? Obviously, BigGTymeR is one of them, Mahima.
Yes, all of these guys are very competent players, but my favorite of all is Arsh Grover for sure. He was also my teammate in the first match IPL series that we've played, so I'm friends with him as well.
Very cool. Now, there is no lack of talent at this final table, but we're looking at talent from your end. Yes, you viewers, we've been bringing you contest questions over the course of all of these series. And once again, we bring you yet another contest question for the Saturday special. And here's what it is. I've got a trick question, actually, now that I'm looking at it. What weighs more, a pound of iron or a pound of feathers? That's right. We've just shifted dramatically away from the poker questions on this one. So what weighs more, a pound of iron or a pound of feathers? Chalo apni dimag ki batti jalao and send your answers along with your Spartan Poker ID as a comment on this stream. And maybe you can win one of 2 tickets into FTS event number 12, which is going to be played tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. So you got to make sure that, well, I'm sure it's going to be an interesting sort of a set of answers that we're going to see very, very shortly. But I believe we are all set to get the game going. And I think, yeah, the cards are in the air. Here we go. Well, right off the bat, a nice hand for Slim Shady with Big Slick.
Always good to start off with. Well, I don't know actually. Sometimes I'm a bit superstitious when I start off with great hands. I start thinking, it doesn't always turn out well for me. So we'll see what transpires here.
That's really interesting that you mentioned that, Sam, because I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know a lot of players who almost deliberately, drop, unless of course it's like kings or queens or aces. I know a lot of players who generally tend to fold these biggish hands when they get them right up top. So I don't know if that's like a superstitious thing or they don't want to mess around too much with that kind of stuff. Mahima, have you done something similar to this thing right at the start of a final table?
I may get that feeling very intuitively, but it's absolutely a wrong place, especially when you're at a 15 big blind stack. You can't be folding ace king.
Well, there you go. Schooled once again by someone who's way better at the game than I am. So, well, that's me. But these players certainly not short on talent. And I think we're in for a pretty good time in the course of this tournament.
Even Sahil's an aggressive player, so
Yep.
I don't see him getting away anywhere with this.
I think maybe about 3 of the players I'm not very well versed with, but the rest of this table, I don't think anyone's going to shy away from, getting it in there. Everyone's pretty much on the aggressive side of play. And there you go.
Oh,
Wow.
hmm.
A bit surprising there with that call from BigGTymeR, Sam?
Yeah, slightly confused. I mean, so how many big blinds? That was he
15
called
big.
off 15 big blinds. I don't know. I think Arsh Grover's, very, very well experienced, and I guess Slim Shady is one of the names I recognise anyway. I guess he took into account the opportunity to bust a strong player as well. I think 15 big blinds is on the cusp. Maybe he knows more than I do, but maybe he's aware that Slim Shady knows that he'll be opening every cutoff, button, and probably expecting him to shove much wider than the ace king. But I mean, even so, Queen 9 is suited or unsuited is a bit optimistic.
That's right. Very gently played with his words there, Sam Razavi. Just a little optimistic on that one by BigGTymeR. But you know what they say? Hey, it was suited. And so perhaps that also played into BigGTymeR's head on that one. But yeah, that would have been a good elimination for him, considering that Sahil Chutani is a pretty strong player. So to get him out of this final table right off the bat would be a huge edge for someone like BigGTymeR.
Yeah, and he's probably knows he's going to be very live. Wow.
Yep. Well, if you go by the username, it is quite cute. And well, oh my. Have we got our first elimination? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And that's
Wow.
Cupid Stunt, Mohammad Azhar, who has been eliminated, what are we, less than 10 minutes into this final table. Well, back to the trend of the early bust outs with that one.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that for sure at this final table, especially, these playable stacks.
I mean, he was
I
the
don't know.
second in shortest in chips, but there was still a fair amount of play there, I guess.
Yeah, I think if you're going to choose a hand to actually, shove with, I think I would try to avoid aces that will probably be dominated by if you do get called. I'd much rather go with something like the Jack 10 suited, or King Queen, or something along those lines. But yeah, I mean, these players have probably been playing with each other the last, leading up to the final table. They have some reads that we aren't aware of, and yeah, but it definitely looks like this table is geared towards action.
I think we should be in for it. If that's the kind of hands, Mahima, that we are going to face very shortly, I think there's going to be some fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the hand with which Arsh called up was a better spot than what had just happened in the previous hand. Because you have live cards there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go, folks. Our first elimination at this table, Cupid Stunt. That's Mohammad Azhar, who finishes in 8th place at this Saturday special event. Not 10 minutes into this final table, but 97,600 rupees might just suit this thing a little bit for being that first exit off this FT. In the meantime, though, ace 3 for Zima Blue. That's Mithun Mahesh. And he's bumped it up to 1.1.
Got two very strong players in the small and big blind. I'd probably lean on the side of just letting ace 3 suited go from that position, but that's also probably would be considered slightly weak on my end. So yeah, he takes it down anyway, which is good.
I'm happy to see lots of answers for our contest question in the comments. Man, some of you guys have literally written a thesis. We just need the answer. It's cool. Everyone can Google it. But yes, bring it in. Keep sending your answers into that question. What weighs more, a pound of iron or a pound of feathers? And, well, here's another ace king, this time for Arsh Grover, playing as BigGTymeR.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if the positions were slightly different, this could spell doom for Australian Accountant, but we're going to see a free bet to, I don't know, 3-4 million, I guess. And Australian Accountant, considering what I saw yesterday, I think we'll get away from this fairly quickly.
Australian Accountant, of course, making his second final table. That's Akshay Kapoor. And not to forget that we're running this special tournaments, the marquee tournaments that we're bringing you over the course of this weekend. These have a special extra bonus prize that people can actually win, because if you make it to all of these final tables on the weekend, you have a little extra bit coming your way. So not just the prize money of this tournament in play here.
So yeah, if he also makes it to the final table on the Sunday special today, he's going to get additional bonus of 10 lakhs.
That's right.
Wow,
so that would be interesting.
Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't realize it was all the. I noticed he'd made the final again. I didn't realize it was that was part of the triple, as they say. So what? It's five.
It's
5
5 and
lakhs
5
cash, 5 lakhs
in bonus, gaming bonus. Yeah. So
Nice.
that's we've got the Sunday event, which is underway right now, I believe, or it's going to begin shortly, and we will see the culmination of that tomorrow evening. And I think Australian Accountant will definitely be gunning for that one as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
This
it's a
is going to
great.
be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's an easy fold, although
He has to let it go.
it is painful when you've put in that big free bet, and yeah.
And Slim
But
Shady
probably a
claiming
good
another
hand
one.
to 3-bet there. You can easily fold to a 4-bet instead of getting called all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one. I like the I like the aggressive approach straight out of the gates, and I'm sure Majestic is choosing his opponents well for these 3 bets. And yeah, it's just unfortunate to actually run into such a monster hand and not be able to do anything about it. I think Australian Accountant might just let this go. People will be tempted to flat these.
Yeah, he thought about it for a second there, but wisely letting it go is Australian Accountant Akshay Kapoor, I beg your pardon. And
Ooh.
Bullets making their appearance for the first time at this final table. And there is going to be some action, given that Majestic has also picked up a pair.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the size of the 3-bet, I'm probably going to see.
Could he just flat here to maybe induce?
I think I would flat if I had both BigGTymeR and Slim Shady left to act, because I've got double opportunity for someone to make a squeeze play. I've been in this position before. You've done a 3-bet, had to lay it down. Oh, that's good
Wow.
discipline, because I would probably be semi-tilted to peel off a flop there and see if I can hit the 3. But yeah, I think also flatting, not just to induce, but also to disguise the strength of your hand is definitely amongst the options for sure.
Very restrained play from Majestic. That's Karan Radia letting go of that hand. I like that bet from Zima Blue, though. It was just in that tempting sort of a zone, not too much more to put in there. So I think a lot of discipline from Majestic, as Sam mentioned, in letting that hand go.
Yeah, for sure. And given what's happened in the first hand, and it seems like BigGTymeR really has, doesn't want to have one put over on him. It went Slim Shady 3-bets. Okay. I was expecting a 3-bet, and I thought things might get a bit messy pre-flop, but
yeah, both these players quite aggressive.
And both of them have picked up a pair here. I don't see Arsh also going anywhere.
Oh boy.
Oh. That's a great.
That's a juicy kind of a board there right now.
That's a great turn card, especially.
This is a great turn card for us, so that we can just keep talking about the potentials, hands and explosions that could possibly happen with this one.
Yeah, and I think Slim Shady shouldn't be slow playing this on the turn, especially, given such a small bet, so many draws out there, 2 flush draws, multiple straight draws. And BigGTymeR's got to know he's got, I was going to say, he definitely has out, so he's probably going to peel it.
Definitely. Oh, I like that check at the end there.
I wonder if Slim Shady finds a check behind. This would be genius.
Yeah. He's capable of pulling that off, though. He has a good read on Arsh.
Wow. Yeah, I mean...
Oh, boy.
Wow.
The trap's been set, and Slim Shady has dived into it.
Yeah, I think you'd expect just a flat call here. I don't know if it's not necessary to shove. I don't think the hand's quite. Yeah, this is a killer. I expect Slim Shady will get away from it eventually, but yeah, he's probably thinking. I mean, you expect the queen to bet on the flop. More than likely than not, when he calls on the turn, it's
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think given the equity, folding river was quite tough. He could have not led maybe, but yeah.
Yeah,
Don't worry. Sorry, please.
Yeah, no, I suppose once you put in such a big bet on the river, you can't fold, but it's impossible for BigGTymeR to be, or is it impossible? I maybe don't know Arsh as well as everyone else. Could he pull off a crazy bluff like that on the end? I'm not sure.
Well, I really like to check, and well, Sahil Chutani, of course, managing to give all his chips away to BigGTymeR in that one, and he's our 7th place finisher, taking home 1.32 lakh rupees for that finish. So well played to Sahil Chutani for having gotten there, and 2 eliminations in about 20-25 minutes since we've begun, and well, it's maybe it's turning out to be one of those super short final tables here at the Saturday Special.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see BigGTymeR taking the lead here now and getting really aggressive, free betting from the button. I wouldn't be surprised. Australian accountants shown a tendency to be quite a passive pre-flop, so this is a great spot for a free bet.
And that sizing.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, I'd like to see Australian accountant, add to his, see him do what I haven't seen him do the last couple of days, and really, recognize what's happening here. I'd like to see even just to induce a small 4-bet or pile in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think BigGTymeR taking advantage of. Yeah,
coming off that pretty huge pot that he won against Sahil Chutani and knocked him out. I'm guessing the rest of the table's feeling just a little wary or coy, whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
Going up
And I was going to
against
say, yeah, good news for Stoned in the big, because you expect BigGTymeR to
Yes.
open this.
What a time to pick up kings right when you're on the short stack. And sure enough, he gets in there.
Uh-oh.
Oh. All right. Live to fight another day is Stoned. That's Rahul Kumar who's playing as Stoned. Nice double up for him with those pocket kings. That would have been sick if we lost another player barely a few minutes after we lost Sahil Chutani on this table.
Yeah, I was honestly earlier. I was going to say I expect this. I mean, it obviously still, can. There's a lot of play left, but I was really expecting this not to go quite as fast as it has done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with the aggressive players you've got on here, it's no surprise either. If I'm in Silver's spot here with only Stone to be worried about in terms of ICM, I'm quite happy to get our chips in this spot, even with BigGTymeR opening under the gun. You've just seen the Jack 8, so I'm more than happy to get the King Queen in here.
Yeah, at 10 lines, suited King Queen, he has to jam.
Yeah,
good enough equity.
Yeah, and it just plays so well against BigGTymeR's range. You know you're never going to be given a chance to get a walk at any point. So you're looking to this is great, and we're going to get another call.
Yeah.
Ooh,
close, very, very close. But deep breaths, Silver 555, deep breaths. You're in there, you're still in there. And that's, of course, Manas Kalita, who's just doubled up with that King Queen of Clubs against BigGTymeR. So chips come and chips go.
Yeah.
Arsh, I think, is one of the most aggressive players on this table. He's also been playing since the age of 11. He's 25 now, so definitely knows a lot of the game.
I was going to say he's probably one of the most aggressive players in India, not just on this final table.
Yeah, that's actually
absolutely.
true.
And it's the same even when I've seen him play live on occasion at the IPC and other events. He's just got that entire aggression mode on when he's at the table. And I think it served him well in the course of his relatively young career.
Yeah. And again,
oh, it's almost like BigGTymeR's like any two cards, I'm just getting it in there. Any two cards that even remotely connect each other, I'm just going to put it in there.
Yeah, I think he's, no messing around with the ace king. Yeah, I think he's very aware that it's, it's not the most, in terms of people playing back at him, that it's not the most dangerous final table for him to be taking this approach. And I expect, again, he might let this go, but I don't think he can help himself. He'll probably open again.
Computer hand. Well, it doesn't matter.
I think unopened pots, he's opened 100% of them.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's looking at. He thinks he doesn't want to let that 100% stat drop. And I mean, why not? And again, if he's opened the Queen 7 off, I'm sure we'll get
Queen 7 on, who is equally attractive, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's not going to like it this time. It's going to be the third hand that these guys are going to get into it with each other. Unless Majestic decides he wants to get frisky.
Yeah, this is the point where I would like a flat, especially in position on the button. You don't want to scare BigGTymeR away. It's not like he's a fish that's going to, peel off a free bet with any two. And this is the point where I think you really need to start trapping. And as aggressive as BigGTymeR, that's a good fold. I was just wondering if he was going to get a bit frisky there and peel, hoping to outplay post flop. But yeah, I would have liked a flat there. That would have been.
I think some of these younger players have just got so much more discipline than what I've seen over the course of the last 10 or 12 years that I've been involved with the industry. Very often you'd see players, if they've just switched on the aggression, there's just no stopping them. But I think it's like a lot of people have now realized that that's just not the way to go. So good to see that, especially amongst the younger crew of players. So I think it'll only serve them well.
For sure. And this is interesting because from a gameplay perspective, Majestic's been really quiet. I think he's opened one hand earlier and actually, didn't Zima actually 3-bet with the aces earlier? It was Majestic who had the threes, right? So it's an interesting thing going on there, I think. This is a made-for-TV hand.
And that also blind versus blind. So nobody's going away.
Yeah, I mean, Australian accountant, he deserves some, I mean, it is a setup hand, but deserves a bit of fortune after yesterday, so we'll see what happens. Wow. I expect this is going to be a raise and then a jam.
Yeah, I mean, if Queen 7 didn't stop him, I don't think getting ace king is like just fireworks going off inside Arsh's brain. So yeah, there you go, 1.92 in the middle.
Yeah, I think Australian accountant isn't going to mess around. It's an all-in, and then it's just going to be one of those hands, isn't it?
Oh, boy.
Yep. Oh, dear.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. And with that, the accountant has gone back to hitting the books, exiting this final table as the 6th place finisher of the Saturday Special. Akshay Kapoor, fantastic play by him, making 2 of these special tables yesterday as well as today. And I'm guessing he's probably going to get something to eat and drink and then quickly jump into the Sunday Special event so that he can try and take a crack at that 10 lakhs.
Yeah, I think he hasn't really done anything wrong the last couple of days. I would like to see him open up a bit more and recognize when he's being pushed around. But It's really unfortunate to make 2 final tables and then, ran the queens into the kings, I think, and then the 10s into the ace king. Nothing you can do. So, no, he won't be disappointed with this play. Just not the best run of cards.
Yeah, I guess Mahima was as standard as you could possibly get. Yes, set up, made for TV, and all of those things, and it pretty much played out the way we expected it to. But really, nothing much that you can do in a spot like that. Both players played it exactly they were supposed to, and it's just unfortunate for Akshay Kapoor that it didn't go his way.
Yeah, I think even he was 17, 18. He had 17, 18 big blinds, so pretty standard. Neither of the two could do anything else.
Well, there you go.
Although I love that he did set the trap by limping in there on the small blind. It was, nicely played.
That's exactly what I was about to say, that he did deviate from his usual controlled sort of play, knowing that BigGTymeR's there, knowing that he's going to give him some action. So I quite appreciated that play, even though it didn't go in his favor at the end. But 1.8 lakhs for that 6th place finish will keep the accountant from Straya in good shape for the rest of the series, I should think. So yeah, that's it. Very well played to Akshay Kapoor for making his 2nd marquee final table. So we hope that when we come back tomorrow evening, we might see him once again there. But it's down to the final 5 at this Saturday special event.
So in Arsh's spot there, when he had the ace king against the 10s, what's the typical range you're calling off after the 3-bet with after the jam 3-bet with 10s?
Clearly, Sam, that's a question for you.
So after the if I'm in Arsh's spot and an Australian accountant's limp jammed, what am I calling with?
Yeah.
Ace 10 plus most aces, I think, but it as a blanket, in a nutshell, given what I've learned about Australian accountant in the last 2 days, only seeing him play on 2 final tables, my range is going to be much tighter than you would think if you're talking in a walnut against in a nutshell against a blanket any random player. So I would be wary, but ace 9, maybe ace 8. I know Australian accountant is never just limp jamming like anything. So, but also hands play themselves. Blind on blind, king queen. I've got so many chips as well. 50 million, I can afford it. Yeah, it's all very kind of situational and player dependent. The more you know about the player, the more disciplined folds you can make. Some people will just hands are hands. It's not out of the realm of possibility that someone actually wakes up with a hand in the small blind. They're not always just making a move on you. So yeah.
Well, in that
What
previous
about
hand,
you?
Zima Blue taking that pot down against BigGTymeR with his pair of 9s. Yes, sorry, I just broke in there. Mahima, please, if you can answer Sam's question in return.
Yeah, again, maybe against Australian accountant, I'll be a little tighter. But against Arsh, ace high is pretty much good enough. I think even a king high works.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No respect. There's just no respect for Arsh Grover. Come on.
Oh yeah. So if you're talking about limping and Arsh raising, what am I jamming then? I mean, the range just goes 9, 10 suited. Pretty much anything that's pretty. I'll be, and I would literally be looking to limp trap with nothing. Expecting him to raise 100% of hands. And then obviously if he's got it, he's got it. But anything that has any sort of any small amount of equity post flop is going in the limp shove range for sure.
Don't worry, folks. Maima's just adding a little special effects to the proceedings because it's just the action and the fireworks at the table is not enough. So she's just adding her own special spin to all of that there.
I thought that
But
sounded like
it is the
fireworks.
monsoons in this country, and so we are facing some technical issues and electricity connectivity issues from time to time. Oh boy,
Wow.
that
Set
was a
over
hand and
set
a
as
half.
well.
Wow. Well, there you go. They're dropping like flies, and Rahul Kumar is the latest casualty at this table, playing as stoned. He finishes in that fifth place position of the Saturday Special event, once again at the hands of BigGTymeR. Boy,
Yeah, we might
It's
go
really
back to
putting-
back in terms of chip leaders going into the final table, and
that's every possibility now that Arsh is really piling the chips on, all things considered. But that's a bit of rough luck there, Mahima. You know, set over set is never a pretty thing to, especially when you're on the bad side of things.
Yeah.
Not the best feeling in the world, I'm guessing.
He's chipped up since the start of the game as well. I don't think he's going to let it go easy now. Expecting him to see at least at the heads up.
Yep.
yeah,
But we've been surprised in the past. So, for all the things that we think are very, very obvious at these final tables, sometimes the table just gets up and smacks us right in the face. So, it's not over yet, folks. Anything could happen in the course of the next hour, 2 hours, however long this thing goes on for. But yeah, we've been privy to see some really interesting action, some really cool hands.
this is an interesting one. Short-handed, definitely the pill from the big is fine. I don't think he's folding on the flop either. I guess this would be just check, 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 check down.
Could Majestic just try to peel in here?
Yeah, I think the thing is, yeah, that's the problem. So it's really hard to follow through again on the turn. But if you are thinking that Arsh is peeling with anything, the turn is the time to make that second bet. You have to just go for it, 3-4 million, and then really lock down if you get called again. So I think the turn was the time to make the move. Arsh turning the best hand into a bluff. I don't know if, yeah, wouldn't make much sense trying to wrap that river. And yeah, Arsh continuing to scoop in the chips.
Six, seven suited. This is like gold in Arsh's hands. It's just jumping internally. And that's not a half bad flop to get a little cute and just take it away.
Yeah, I quite like a check and then a delayed c-bet on the turn just to sort of further rep that I've lived in with a really strong hand and I was waiting for Majestic to bet, but it should work anyway. I don't mind the call either because, yeah, it's a strong hand or junk, isn't it? So.
So if you want to take this hand down and you started your bet on the flop, do you three barrel or do you just let it go on such a flop or a turn?
Yeah, I think the same principle applies to the last hand. I think the turn's the spot to make another move, and I mean, I don't know if he's going to get cute and raise the turn here. I think one barrel was enough for him. Well, this is quite the hand.
A certain gentleman in Mississippi is suddenly perked up.
Yeah, and Majestic, four-handed. He strikes me as the kind of player that could get busy with this.
Perfect spot for silver.
Yeah, and I guess he's just going to go for the jam again, but
How bad is just calling here?
I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I'd lean towards, again, either of the two. It's all those factors really you take into account. Will you eventually lose action down the line if Zima had a hand that he could call with pre-flop, but then maybe just disintegrates into nothing on the flop, like a pair of eights, for example, and it comes 10 jack, queen, or whatever. Going with the free bet, I would have preferred slightly smaller to price in or induce. But yeah, it's a tough one because a small free bet looks so strong four-handed as well that maybe just the jam is the best way to go about it. So yeah, all options I think were open there.
Oh boy. Hello. There's just there's gasoline all over this table and someone just threw a lit match in there.
The problem is this will be the third time that Majestic's open that Zima's going to 3-bet. And then BigGTymeR may have also picked up on this. And I wouldn't be surprised. And it's such a strong hand pre-flop. I wouldn't be surprised if he just put them all to the test and shoved it. That is suited, right? The ace-jack.
But yeah, I think he's played enough with these guys to maybe let go of this one. Majestic's pretty tight. He's opened in, and then he has a raise from Zima.
Yeah, he's certainly taking his time to think about it.
It's so strong, though. I mean, could he 4-bet to 11 and then let it go? I mean,
yeah.
Yep.
You got it right.
And this would be just fantastic if he gets away from it. I think that's the other option, the 11 and fold, just given the stack size, the effective chips. And wow, I mean, is Majestic actually going to fold the best hand? I don't think so. I don't think you can fold this here.
Wow. Well, there you go. Sam is 1-1 at the moment with his calls. The 11 lakh bet was right, but Majestic playing way controlled here.
Yeah, and once this goes in, I'm sure it'll be a really frustrated. Wow!
Wow.
What?
This was pretty different.
I did not expect that. Well,
yeah.
Wow.
That's right, crazy. Folks. Even people like us who've seen quite a few final tables and played quite a few final tables, my co-commentators, and we're a little taken aback by what we just saw there. But, well, there you go. That's how it is.
Yeah, the thing is, what you really have to do is take into account, the dynamics at play and the game flow itself. And what you do, number one, you just can't fold ace king at any point to this particular opponent. But secondly, what you're now showing is Majestic. You've 3-bet Majestic 3 times, and it's probably been with air because you folded again to the 4-bet. So, I mean, not only do you lose that opportunity to signal that every time you 3-bet you do have a strong hand, you're letting go of a monster hand, and also, losing some respect as far as your 3-bets against Majestic are concerned in the future. So, I think that really was a big mistake, especially against the opponent. I mean, it's not like you've got someone like Australian Accountant. If he did that, I would turn around and give him, credit for a much stronger hand. You've got the most aggressive player on the table here. He could be doing it with literally anything. But anyway, it is what it is.
Probably what Majestic did is also a mistake to a degree, especially against Arsh there.
I think for exactly the same reasons. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't. If Arsh has 4-bet a legitimate hand, if Zima's free bet the legitimate hand, it doesn't mean you still don't have the best hand at the time. And I would have looked at Arsh's 4-bet as a lovely spot to have dead chips in the middle, adding further value to a better price for me to get my chips in. And when you call off, it also puts Zima in a tough spot as well. Even if he does have a strong hand, and maybe you get heads up. I wouldn't fold the tens there. I definitely wouldn't have folded the ace king either.
Well, there you go. We've had Jangster Jr. who asked the exact same question. Thoughts about that ace-king fold by Zima Blue. Sam Razavi was not folding there, that's for sure. So yeah, there you go, man. That's your answer.
Yeah. I think BigGTymeR's going to be surprised when he looks back and sees what they actually folded, because he's probably thinking, yeah, he's 4-bet. Standard, ace jack suited, definitely the best stand. And when he sees what he got away with, he's going to be quite shocked, I think.
Yep.
I would love another check here, check trap.
Well, there you go. Zima Blue with a flush on the river and taking that nice little 1.2 million pot down. I have to say that in the last few final tables that we've been doing commentary on, this is one of those tables where there have been a couple of, I want to use the word baffling decisions, but hey, that's the nature of the sport. So it's good to see even something that we did not expect taking place at these tables.
Yeah. Really interesting.
All of these guys are also aware of each other's capability to quite a degree. So maybe that's accounted for when making those strong folds.
Yeah, but also maybe accounted, if you, I think conversely, knowing the information you have about Arsh, I think that gives more argument to getting the chips in, especially with the ace king. But yeah, who knows?
I know we've been talking about Arsh and Mithun Mahesh, that's Zima Blue, for a while now, and Majestic, of course.
Yes.
But Silver 555, Manas Kalita sitting quietly in the corner and just hanging on there. I mean, it's not like it's a middle of the pack stack, but he's not messing around too much, and he's collected a little bit to his name.
He's also stacked up since he started the final table. So not playing many hands, but he knows the spots to take.
Yeah, I was just smiling because I was just about to say, oh, we're down to 3-handed. And then I noticed, Silver sat in the corner quietly paving a path through. So yeah, I think, and also I guess to be fair, he hasn't picked up anything much of note to really get involved anyway. But yeah.
$240 from BigGTymeR gets him that pot. And if you'll have just tuned in, we're of course bringing you this live stream from the Saturday Special at the FTS 3.0. We're down to the final 4 players at this final table. And just a quick rundown on 2 things, of course. The first is the contest question. There's still time to get it in there. What weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of iron? Or if you like, what weighs more, a pound of iron or a pound of feathers? Yeah, that's right. We like to mix it up a little bit from time to time. So get your answers in there with your Spartan Poker ID. And if you are one of the lucky winners, you can get a ticket into tomorrow night's 10 p.m. tournament. That's FTS Event 12, if I'm not wrong. And so get your answers in. And who knows? We could see you at a final table and do some commentary on you as well.
Yeah, Silver, a bit unlucky there, waiting for a hand, finally picks up ace king in the big blind, and it just folds round after BigGTymeR's been opening 100%.
I think we've all faced that at some point or the other when we're playing live or online. Just hurts when you don't get paid off at
So
least a little bit.
this is an interesting spot and amongst the chip leaders.
Yep.
Yeah, this could be played out quite passively, and it could be played out very fast as well. But okay. And I think Zeman's going to take the lead here anyway because the range hits the big blind so much more, and he also obviously has the flush draw. But Arsh not going anywhere with top pair. I don't see any need to raise whatsoever.
And no such luck for Zima Blue, as he does not make his flush on that river.
Yeah, I mean, a thin value bet, try and get some value out of a random ace-4, but yeah, checking behind is no problem with that.
Time for Majestic to go all in.
Yeah, this is a shove all day long.
I think he's had like 3 opportunities before this, but he's just not followed through. So hopefully, yep, he's still not done it completely.
Leaving a couple of million behind.
And no joy. Well, a quick reminder to our viewers that there is a fantastic tournament at the end of the series called The Feast, which has a 1 crore guaranteed prize pool, and you can get in for just an entry of 2,200 rupees. That's right, a 1 crore guaranteed tournament with a buy-in of just 2,200 rupees. That's The Feast, and there are daily flights that are taking place or at 4 p.m. every evening at SpartanPoker.com. So make sure that you get in and get into a part of the action for the Feast tournament for the rest of these days. That's the daily flight at 4 p.m. for the Feast. 1 crore guaranteed. Haven't seen a reasonable amount of garbage for a while now, so this is good, I suppose.
That must have pained him so much to fold. I think if Majestic, given his stack size in these spots, I like to take one stab if I'm silver.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
That's
he's
it.
taken
That's
the
the
lead.
winning. That's the winning bet right there. He could have put in 100 chips, and I think he was just winning it.
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I would like to have peeled one, and then if Majestic locks down, you can take down a hand on the river. But yeah.
But his patience paid him off. I think this is his spot and turn now.
Yes, and again, given that you're so, I mean, I suppose silver only has double your stack. Slow playing, an option.
He actually put it all in. I thought he's going to still leave like a couple of hundred behind on that one as well.
Yeah, I suppose the logic in leaving 2 million behind is if suddenly 2 other stacks get it all in, and maybe he can fold from an ICM perspective or something. I don't know.
That's true. Well, Karan Radia, you know better. That's Majestic, of course, Karan Radia. He's been just hanging in there for sure. Him and Silver 555 just grinding it at this table with these 2 chip leaders in BigGTymeR and Zima Blue.
And 8, very strong, 3-handed. I suppose this is just going to be a fold.
I quite like the 3-bet sizing though.
Yes, for sure. I mean, you don't want to give someone the right price to peel with some nonsense like 9-10, Jack 9 suited or something like that. And your hand's strong enough to get it in pre anyway, so I think I'd go with that option rather than getting too clever.
So we got a question in our live stream. The giveaway is for event number 12 that's going to take place tomorrow at 10 p.m. So that's the ticket into that particular tournament. Vinay Verma, I hope that answers your question.
I expect Majestic will bet, and Arsh is never going to fold this with the backdoor heart draw and the ace.
He actually still has decent equity in the side.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Certainly not the card that Majestic was hoping for, but
yeah, while he turned his ace high into a bluff last time, it doesn't look like the sort of run up that Majestic's going to fold a pair. So I like the check. I just wonder if Majestic bets whether a hero call is going to be made with the ace high. No need.
What would be a good bet sizing there from Majestic's end?
At the end, if he's trying to...
he's trying to get those chips in there.
I mean, I just think once you check the turn, there's no good bet sizing at the end that really tells any story. So I would probably lean towards an all-in and hope that you get a side fold from like second or third pair. Once you've checked, your hand's quite face up. It makes no sense probably makes no sense to value bet. Maybe a 7, yes, but hand just doesn't make any sense. I think a small bet on the turn and then a jam on the river, I'd be very convinced by his story. I don't think there's any bet sizing. Of course, we know that probably a shove Arsh would have folded to, but I think he might have sniffed it out, and the ace high was looking quite promising there too. So yeah, I think a good disciplined check on the end with what Majestic knew was going to be the losing hand. So.
Well, this is about the time that I would usually go for a coffee break, but after being shamed by a certain gentleman in the UK yesterday, I think I'm going to just pass the baton and give Mahima the chance to take a break for her coffee at this point in time. So we'll see you in a few minutes, Mahima.
See you guys.
Have a good one. Yeah, this is an annoying turn card, but I don't think it's going to go crazy anyway. Seamer, pair and a flush draw. It's probably going to get checked down. The only reason Silver might bet is that he feels a gut shotty straight hand like 8-10 might have got there, but wouldn't be strong enough to make a hero call on the end. But okay, it's going to go check, I guess. Oh, I thought he'd already checked. Yeah, no. So yeah, I think what he's trying to do is where he might have thought he had the best hand on the flop of the 6. He's probably trying to make like the 8-9 or 8-10 fold.
But also Silver 555 has been pretty quiet for the most part. He's not really messed about too much. So this could be a pretty strong bet from Zima's point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard for Zima to call, and nice play.
Very nice bet. And taking down that pot is Silver 555. That's Manas Kalita, who, like we said before, hanging in there, making sure that he's giving himself an even shot amongst all these big stacks to get to that finish line.
And Arsh is going to probably bump this up to about 3.5, 4. And I just, yeah, well, that's quite cheap anyway. But I was going to say this: the King 6 suited is just far too strong to
Wow.
to fold here. And yeah, with this hand, I'd be happy to play this fast if I have to get all the chips in the middle on the flop. I have to. I mean, we know that it's not going to go that way if Zima raises, but I would definitely be raising at this point.
Well, clearly he's thinking about a different line than what we are. So
Yeah, and I think it's a bad turn card for Arsh. He knows that if he was beaten
Yeah.
on the flop, it's really made no
pounded
difference to the
by that
board.
turn card. Yeah.
Although he might take, this is what I've been talking about, following through with one more big bet on the turn. And
Right.
I don't think it will work. And it's a very big bet.
Wow. Boy, this is really ballooned into a big pot.
Yeah, and I think, if he knows if he had a sense that that's what Zima had, he could probably fire the all-in at the end, but just once he's called the turn.
And
he's
for
good.
the first time at this final table, BigGTymeR loses the chip lead. Now with Mithun Mahesh, that's Zima Blue taking it up. Almost 5 million in chips. He's not too far behind. Yeah, if Majestic called there, he would have had the goods. No doubt about it. He's not been messing about, just playing very, very controlled. So, yeah.
Yeah, so probably going to be another fold round. He's got the goods this time, but no hand behind to call him.
Yes, he's going to have to satisfy himself by...
He's kept
the 200 behind.
The standard, yeah.
Got to give it to Majestic. I mean, he's just making sure he's hanging in there.
Yeah, he's definitely, I think once he gets the chips in, he's going to have the goods, like you said, for sure. So he's going to be an itch that's hard to get rid of, for sure. This is interesting. If Zima free bets this, he's going to have to free bet it to an amount that's going to price him in to call the all in. Okay, hasn't bet.
It's not so as much, yeah.
But yeah, so Silver's definitely going to jam this.
Jam should happen.
And it's going to be a frustrated fold, I guess. It's only going to be getting, even money on a call. That's a bad price.
Well, it's been a while since Silver 555 has been hanging about in that 1 million plus category, and now finally over 2.5 million in chips. That's now a healthy enough stack to give the big boys, the big stacks, a bit more competition. So good on you, Manas Kalita. That's a nice little chip up for him right there.
And I wonder if Majestic will sniff this out. For sure, Arsh isn't going to let this slide.
Yeah, he's never been letting anything slide. So, yeah.
Yeah.
There you
go. Awful turn card, really, for a C-bet on the turn. So I think it's going to just be given up. And I can't see Majestic. I can't see Majestic folding here at any point. But I don't think Arsh is going to pull the trigger anyway. I think it would be a big mistake.
Would you check here if you were in Majestic spot, or would you try and mess around?
I think I think Arsh is just too good. I mean, what do you want to get? You want to get a value out of a 6 or make someone fold a chop randomly. I just don't think it makes any sense to bet. I mean, maybe I'd bet the minimum in the desperate hope that Arsh might just jam on a bluff so I can call, but that would be the only reason.
That's true. Well, in case our viewers are wondering, those players who've got that little M badge next to their names, that signifies that they've won a millionaire tournament on Spartan Poker in the past. So certainly there's a lot of experience at this table with 3 of these 4 players holding an M badge. So they've been at this big stage before. They've been under the spotlight before. They've crossed the finish line in those big events. And well, here we are once again, and there's one more title up for grabs for these gentlemen. So let's see who actually crosses that finish line. Can I just say that I'm extremely glad that this play has gone on for a while now, because the way they were dropping like flies in the first 25 odd minutes, I was like, oh boy, we're not going to even cross an hour in this one. But thank you to all these players who've managed to stretch it out just a little bit for us. We got on our monies in the right way, making sure that we're bringing you all this action in the course of these marquee events.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of play now anyway, as the stacks have, started to even out. Everyone's got, 40, 30 big blinds. So yeah, there's a ton of play left in this. And
even Majestic, being the short stack, that's a scary enough stack for, well, at least silver 555 anyway. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's not. He no longer has the sort of 6-7 million that you can just keep piling in on him. It's significant if you double Majestic up. So yeah, the action's going to get a bit more cautious. And I think once it gets to free-handed, we might see the gears shifting again.
That's true. It's all in stages. We keep talking about tournament poker, having those early, middle, and late stages. And even within a final table, you have those initial, middle, and late stages. So it's very, very interesting to see how the tournament ebbs and flows from the overall perspective and even from the final table perspective.
Yeah.
Boy, silver 555. I mean, 3 million in chips. He's within sniffing distance of Zima's stack, which, like, he was nowhere. Him and Majestic both were struggling at a point in time. Very good.
Yeah, and Silver's quite nicely, quietly chipped up, chosen his spots, and this is an interesting one. It's tough for Zima to continue on the river. Wow.
Why do I feel every time these two guys are in a hand, it's like 2 dogs circling a bone and just eyeing each other? Like, I think it's more like a power play kind of a thing happening between these two.
Yeah, it does feel that way for sure.
There you go, almost identical stacks right now.
Yeah. And Silver, a bit unfortunate, picked up another semi-strong hand, 4-handed, and interesting to see if Arsh flats or 3-bets this.
Ooh. It's not a bad time to be silver 555.
Yeah, especially given your opponent is just probably not going to, well,
he's definitely getting some more chips out of this hand. I'm guessing so.
Yeah, it doesn't really fold flops. Does Arsh, and especially for that price. I mean, that's a tempting bet, in terms of, might give Arsh the temptation to raise, and that's what's happened.
Is it going to be Jam City?
I think I like to flat definitely against Arsh and just let the board roll out however it rolls out. I'm not folding. And that's not a scare card at all. In fact, that's a brilliant card for silver because, you know, if Arsh had a strong ace pre-flop, you'd have heard from it. So
would you flat here again?
another flat, and I'm just hoping a spade comes so that he represents. A 10 would be killer, though. Oh my god, I want to see the river. Yeah, and this is just, I think Arsh will do well to give up here. Just all the draws missed. He can't represent. Maybe he was hoping for a spade to rep.
Yeah.
The only thing he could, yeah. And this is going to be an easy check behind. Unless, you know, unless silver puts Arsh on like the Jack 10, Jack Queen, I'd probably jam here just to try and have him fold. You know, after you've got best hand all the way and he rivers a lucky split, I'd probably be jamming here just to fold out the Jack 10 or Jack Queen or whatever. But okay.
Well, there you go. And it's time to welcome back Mahima Das into this broadcast once again. Mahima, we saw a pretty interesting hand. I think you caught the action on that hand as well.
Yes. A 10 of spades would have been a perfect river there.
And with that hand, silver's actually taken a chip lead.
Yes, he has. Yes. What an amazing comeback by Silver 555. That's Manas Kalita, who's one of the shortest stacks, I believe. Oh no, he was in the middle of the pack, but less than 20 blinds, I believe, when he began, and now heading the chip count. Not by much, but he's right up there.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this is still four-handed.
Yeah, that's true. I was just telling Sam the same thing. I was like, thank God they allowed us to sort of be on commentary for a little more while than we usually are used to. So yeah. Let's look at some of the comments that have been coming through. Yes, plenty of answers, many of them right. And let's take a look at the giveaway winner will be picked by way of a draw, Umesh. And the giveaway prize is guaranteed for everyone, or lucky will be a winner? Everyone doesn't get the prize, man. We have one winner, and that'll be picked by a draw. So yeah, it'll be mentioned on the stream as well. And if I don't mention it, then we will put it up in the comment section. So keep your eyes peeled for that one.
All the three guys are pretty deep here. This is going to be an interesting three-handed, four-handed play. It'll go on for a while.
Yeah.
Man, I'm hoping Majestic just adds on a few more chips. Four-way action with relatively even stacks might just be quite interesting.
And there he goes. Yeah, 10 blinds versus 9 blinds, not much of a difference. So Queen 10 definitely worth flatting and defending.
Yeah, definitely the right play to fill there. Depending on the bet sizing, I guess this will go bet jam, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, it's somewhat similar to the previous hand that we saw with the two spade cards and Majestic now hitting the queen there.
Yeah.
But he chooses to jam, unlike the last time around where they just flatted.
Yeah, easy fold. Even if you put Majestic on a flush draw, it's likely got 2 overs. Monster hand for Zuma, but it's going to be quick folds all round.
It's almost like Silver is hearing us. Just giving us a little bit of a sweat. We knew he was going to fold, but hey, why give it away that quickly?
Yep.
So, yeah.
This is again going to be pretty standard. Zima would probably defend here.
Yeah, I think he'd definitely be defending this hand for sure.
And he's hit a gut shot.
Yeah, this would be interesting. I don't. Arsh doesn't have. Yeah, I was going to say he doesn't have the sort of stack where you can go barreling big bets. So it'd be interesting if Zima does what he did last time when he had a bit of equity and leads the turn. And while usually I'd probably flat with the ace high here, looks like that's what it's going to be. A hero call all the way. Yeah, I think he might get. Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a big bet.
I think he might get called though. I don't see what fours Zima will be calling with pre. He's representing an 8. Oh, what does he want to get paid off with? I think it's, yeah. I think we might see a call here.
Yeah.
Wow. And there you have it, folks. This hand is exactly the reason why we keep saying that poker is a game of skill.
Back to chip lead.
And back to chip lead.
I think a slightly less bet. I mean, he was probably calling anyway, but it looks a bit stronger than.
Was he more suspicious or tempted because of Zima's bet sizing? He almost bet pot there.
I think so. I mean, like what you're expecting to get called by on the flop, you probably expect Arsh to bet out the jack. So you discount a jack. He doesn't have a 4. You likely don't have a 4 in Arsh's eyes, because what you're defending with a 4 in your hand, ace-4 maybe. And then it double pairs the 8. You're representing the 8, or literally nothing. Like what's he expecting to get called by? And that's why I think a bet that leans more towards, I really have something of value and I really want you to call with ace high, for example. But yeah, I think it's unfortunate that it ran out the way it did. There are many cards on the river where that bluff would have panned out. And yeah, good call by Arsh anyway.
Majestic's also been pretty card dead in this final table.
Yeah,
it's really surprising how long he's managed to hang around, considering all of those.
Yeah, he's really had to, navigate a tight path through, and yeah, I'd like to see how the game opens up if he does manage to, get up to 30 bigs and beyond. BigGTymeR maybe choosing the wrong spot for a 3-bet here. Nope.
Well, I'm going to take a quick break. Actually, a quick break to get my coffee and come right back in like 2 minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to keep hearing all sorts of snide comments from Sam. So I'll see you guys in a minute.
Enjoy. Oh, if only I could have a coffee, it'd be lovely, but never mind. Never mind. Reserved for the lucky few.
Silver stacked up pretty well. He's also got his ranges correct now. I think he's understood the play of these guys.
Yeah, he's definitely opening up a lot more as opposed to earlier on, for sure. Yeah, and probably.
We hear you, Sam.
And probably also Silver knows that given how tight he's played, he probably is going to get a bit more respect from these players, so he can make a few more moves. This is a bit unfortunate for Majestic because I mean, he's definitely not folding on the flop.
Yeah, that stack, that hand, he has to call. There could be so many draws that Silver probably leads with.
And for that reason as well, I mean, if he does choose to, he might choose to protect his hand and do what he did last time with top pair and jam. Although it's such a small bet, that's the problem. That's the problem, as you said, you know, it's quite draw heavy. You've got second pair. It's come what may. And that's it, drawing dead on the turn. I think the way that board ran out anyway, you're probably not getting away from the top two anyway on the turn. So yeah, down to three.
Pretty hard luck for Manas. For Karan, yeah.
And just trying to check the payout for...
Silver is stacked up considerably. He started the game with a 17 blind stack, and now he's leading the table.
Yeah, and chip leader by, you know, if he wins another pot, he's going to have 2-1 chip lead on the other two players. And yeah, so the last player that went out, was that 3 lakhs?
Yes.
Yeah.
A good payday for Karan.
Yeah. I'll probably be quite pleased with that, given that, you know, quite frustratingly, didn't really have a lot to play with. Opened a few times with strong hands, got 3-bet, had to fold every time. And yeah, I think I'll take the 3 lakhs for today.
How likely is Zima to 3-bet here?
I was first thinking how likely is Silver to 3-bet, especially given that he's I'd really like to see him open his game, and yeah, that's great. I probably, being Zima, I would have, yeah, I probably would have 3-bet, tried to get it in with the ace-8 against Arsh.
But you could also just flat to disguise your hand, especially against Arsh.
Yeah. I mean, that's oh wow. Yeah, flatting to disguise, especially if it comes ace high, you're probably going to end up doubling up. But this is a really, because of the nature of this board, if big time bets, although we've seen Zima flat from time to time, if this hand gets raised now, all the money is going to go in on the flop.
Yes. Pretty interesting.
I mean, I think Arsh is not going to like it at all, but if you've got the ace deuce, good luck to you. Oh. Yeah, I felt he was going to feel like he really needs to protect, and this card's going to slow down the action. Obviously, it's probably going to go check.
With the bottom two pairs, it's still slightly tough to maybe call because the board gets paired, one of your pair gets negated.
Yeah, it's it's with bottom two. It's still tough to call on the. I mean, he's just been given a huge price on the end to call anyway, but yeah, it's a tough one. I guess he was, I don't know, looking for a safe turn or what, but especially the ace on the turn is a really bad card because now all the ace-5, ace-4, ace-3 have now improved. But yeah, I think Zima a bit lucky not to have found himself all in that hand.
Yeah, pair gut shot. Could have done that. Ace changed the dynamics.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could have quite legitimately been all in on the flop. 2 pair against the pair and the straight draw. But yeah. I wonder if Silver's going to pick up on these small sort of teaser bets and start laying down the law, but not on this occasion.
Silver, I think, is not someone who's very frequent in the gameplay as of now. I may be wrong here.
Yeah. What do you mean in terms of?
In terms of experience he has against
Okay. Yes.
Arsh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been playing for a while, but yeah.
I think he's playing very, very solid in terms of shifting gears, and yeah, I think it's really been a solid performance so far.
Quite the good folks for the three-handed play. All of these three
Yeah.
guys are amazing.
Yeah. Couple of nothing hands. Again, I think Arsh is probably going to flat here. And again, these are these spots where when you're trying these small teaser bets, you have to continue the story on the turn. Once you don't do that, it's over. And now Arsh should quite easily get away from this hand.
Yeah, probably not betting the turn and betting river would be a mistake here, because then your story doesn't add up.
Exactly, yeah.
All of these guys are deep. Zima, being the shortest, has 20 blinds to play, and that's pretty playable against these folks.
Yeah, it's very, very playable stack, you know, and things can turn around very quickly, but it's definitely very deep, especially for an online three-handed game. I wonder if I was wondering if Jack 10 was in the free betting range there.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly that.
This is going to be interesting. I don't see Zima folding. Certainly not folding the flop, and going to be a few turns that are going to keep him away. So,
And he'll just keep calling here because Arsh is likely to barrel.
yeah, it makes no sense to raise. You only get called by better. Arsh has shown a tendency to try two barrels when he has absolute air. So I wouldn't be surprised to see 7 million. Yeah. And then another call on the turn. And then probably, you know, he does have the discipline to lock down. And that's even better. You know, I think it's the temptation is often to bet when you improve like that. And yeah, as suspected, Arsh, just none of it, just immediate check. And this, oh wow.
This is gonna be fun. Fun for us. I don't know for them.
Yes. I mean,
yeah, 23, 24 bigs.
I was going to say it's a pile-in, but that's what it is. And Silver's going to love this. I mean, surely can't.
He just can't. And that's
it.
how it's done.
Wow. Just like that.
What did you play?
Unbelievable. And I mean, the confidence of having just knocked out, you know, one of the toughest, if not the toughest player at the table. He's going to bring that momentum into heads up now. And yeah, I mean, kind of unfortunate for Arsh. Maybe a bit over-aggressive with the eights, but I mean, it's such a strong hand, three-handed. And yeah, out in third.
He's taken home 3.7 lakhs with him today.
3.7, so nearly 5 lakhs for second and just under 8 for first.
The guaranteed of all these events are absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I want to play one of these games. I'm probably going to play the Sunday game tonight.
Yeah, I wish I could play them myself. Yeah, I'd like to mix up between checking behind and letting Zima try to bluff and putting a small bet out, but yeah, I mean, Silver's carved a really fine path through the final table, just come out of nowhere at the end.
Yeah.
And, you know, now has a 3-1 chip lead, heads up.
Both of these guys have won millionaire in the past. One of the flagship tournaments.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they've got the M sign there.
Yeah. Even this is going to be an interesting hand. Oh.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah,
if this is
probably.
gonna all in. Cool. It's a big shove. I mean,
yeah. He could have played post flop as well, but maybe doesn't want to take that chance and wants to double up at a leveled playing field.
yeah. Yeah, it's a strong hand pre. It's frustrating to fold that, but yeah, that was a big jam.
By the looks of it, it's going to be a pretty tough heads up. Both of them are very skilled.
Yeah, I get the feeling it's going to come down to an all-in pre.
Yeah.
I think they've both shown the tendency to just. They've both in this heads up over shoved a raggy ace. So there's a chance that if that tendency continues, there's a good chance that, you know, as soon as they pick up two hands, a raggy ace and a bigger ace, that it's just all going to go in pre-flop.
Well, clearly my coffee has resulted in the elimination of two players in the time that I've been gone. But great to see Silver 555 holding the stack that he has. I mean, what a great comeback.
Yeah, he picked up the jacks against Arsh's eights pre-flop, and yeah, a bit of a cooler.
Yep.
And now, yeah, nearly 3-1, 2.5-1 chip lead heads up.
And as this hand plays out, it's time to announce our contest winners. We'd asked you what weighs more, a pound of iron or a pound of feathers. And of course, many of you got that right. Both would weigh the same. So that's the answer to that contest question that we've run. 2 tickets to FTS event number 12, which will take place tomorrow night at 10 p.m. And the winners are K. Shahjahan, who plays as Shahjahan Kalai, and Kunal Pruthi, who plays as Kunal KKSN2. And these are the two winners of this contest. Congratulations to Shahjahan and Kunal for winning tickets into tomorrow night's event number 12 at the FTS. Well done.
I don't know if Zima's going to fold, but this is the sort of really small bet that we're talking about, where it really looks like you want to be called, and yeah, just.
But how the play went, probably he could have called.
Yeah.
The flop was a check. The turn was a check. The river didn't change as much.
Yeah, I think the flop, there was this one small bet and a call, and then it went check, check. I mean, he could legitimately have a 9, but I love the sizing there. Really, yeah. And I think it's due to the sizing why Zima folded. If it was a bit bigger, might have seen through it a bit more. Oh, he's not going to jam. He wouldn't jam the king high, would he? Oh, he's limped.
I don't think so. Silver could probably 3-bet here. Yeah, he jams.
Whoa. Yep. That's right. Now that we've got chips, we're going to play some poker. That's Manas Kalita's attitude right now. Yeah. Oh, pocket jacks, pocket jacks. Pocket jacks
What a
won,
waste.
even if it got a walk. Always happy to see that hand triumph.
That's how they usually that they've won for me. Most is when someone's folded to me, as opposed to when I've played the hand.
Just a reminder that we're down to heads up, and the players who got eliminated in fourth and third were Karan Radia playing as Majestic. He takes home 3 lakh rupees for his finish. And Arsh Grover, who started this final table as the chip leader, but not able to quite go the distance, finishing in second runner-up position. That's BigGTymeR, and he claims 3.71 lakhs as his third place prize payout. So very well done to all the players who have cashed out here at this final table of the Saturday Special.
Pretty solid play by both of these guys. Nobody is letting chips go to the other one.
Yeah. I'd like to see some, a bit more raising happening pre-flop when players are on the button. It's quite cagey.
Yeah, this could be your. They probably is listening to you and is going to raise now.
But I think even in the time that I've not been here on the stream, I don't think Silver 555 has really gone too crazy. He's generally been raising with pretty solid hands.
Yes.
Yeah, he might just jam this one here. The sizing is ridiculous to 6 million. He's considered ace-4 good enough to shove for 30 bigs, so why not ace-7? Nice.
There you go.
Nice sweep down.
Closing in on that 1 crore chip mark is Silver 555, Manas Kalita against Zima Blue. That's Mithun Mahesh, who's picked up a nice pocket fives.
Silver's been the quietest since the start, and he's now just picked up the big stack, and his gameplay has also changed with his stack sizing, much more aggressive than where he started.
Yeah, but even despite that, he hasn't, like I said, he's not gotten too cute. All of the hands and all of the plays that he's done have been pretty much in line with what you'd expect. But again, fantastically played to come back from where he did. Him and Majestic were just hanging on, and considering that they finished in, well, Silver still playing, of course, but Majestic finishing in fourth, I believe. Yes, fourth. He too hung around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
As soon as you got up for your coffee, the first bust out happened. So I think he was waiting for your break.
I think it's some weird commentator's curse or something. I don't know. It was just like yesterday's stream too. I just said it, and then in 5 minutes we lost a player. So yeah. Or maybe it's just me.
Superpowers.
I wish I could do that when I was at the table playing. Just wish everyone out. This heads up could go on for a while, considering the stacks that both these players have.
Yeah, I was saying that if someone finds a raggy ace and someone else finds a semi-decent hand, it's all going to go in pre-flop, because I think they both have the same logic, but any ace, in we go, heads up.
Okay.
Wow. That's different. Uh, hmm.
They don't really care about cards any longer. They're just playing against each other.
Yeah, that's what it seems
Yeah, it's a
to
nice
be.
way to put it.
That's why I'm sure it's going to end up in a pre-flop confrontation as soon as we get two good hands.
Of what I remember, even Zima has been very consistent of lately in terms of his winnings, performance, all of that. The
Okay.
Even this year, I think he's had a few big wins
Oh,
already.
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there's that hand that we were thinking about.
Yes.
This is crazy. I mean, if silver gets aggressive, I don't think there's any need to get too aggressive on the flop anyway. But yeah,
Right.
9 would have been killer.
How about a 9 of clubs?
Oh boy,
Yes.
that would be fun. Well, fun for us anyway.
Yeah.
Almost, Maima, almost. It was so close. Oh man. Oh boy, what a card.
What a card. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Zima's going to be pretty disappointed with this card.
This is going to hurt a little bit for sure.
Can he actually let it go here? Quite tough.
I think he must call, but he can't shove. That's for sure. That's so unfortunate. You've got the whole world on the flop: pair, straight draw, flush draw, straight flush draw, and the offsuit 9 comes.
I mean, if he'd let it go, I'd just call him up right now and tell him, book your ticket to the WSOP right now, man, because you can't get in more prime form than that to make a fold like that. Oof. Whoa.
Yeah, and just like that.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Pretty hard luck. Yeah.
That was an almost anticlimactic end, but there you go, folks. We've got all the chips on this final table headed the way of Manas Kalita. That's silver 555 there with 1.25 crores. As you can see, the chip stack that he has, he's got the entire set there, and that means that he is the winner of this Saturday special event. Tough luck for Zima Blue in that penultimate hand where he lost a chunk of chips with that river card. But, well, that's how the game goes sometimes. Congratulations to Zima Blue. That's Mithun Mahesh for finishing runner-up in this tournament. And once again, extremely well done by Manas Kalita for winning this tournament and the title of Saturday Special here at the FTS. And as we usually do, we're going to take a look at one hand that we thought was fairly critical in terms of the final table here, where a chunk of chips moved. So let's take a look at that one at this moment. So as you can see, Slim Shady picking up the Ace-Jack suited and going up against another suited set of cards from BigGTymeR. That's Arsh Grover.
And this is a blind on blind spot.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Boy, he certainly took his time.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to recollect the hand once again, but I didn't realize it took this long. But yeah, there you go. That's the flop.
Oh, yeah. I remember this hand now.
Yeah, I was surprised it didn't get 3-bet pre-flop. And so I think it goes check.
Boy, I hope none of us said anything about a flush card on the river because
I think we actually did, and that's how he got through.
sorry, Sahil.
Yeah, so-
Sometimes it happens, man. The commentator's curse is live and well. So, yep, hitting his set on the turn, which of course led to a flush draw opening up for BigGTymeR, and he puts out that bet.
And then I think the 6 of hearts or something, 3 of hearts on the river.
Pretty much spelling doom at this point in time for Slim Shady. That heart on the river. I really like this check by Arsh. I mean, he was probably going to get action even if he put chips out there, but I really like that check. And I think given how aggressive he is as a player, that check also throws up a lot of questions in the mind of his opponent. So I think even from that angle, it was a really interesting move that he made. And
Yeah, he's
sure enough,
probably never checking a queen there either because maybe lose lesser chips, keep control.
Yep.
This was very stronger play. Slim Shady could have probably understood something here.
Yeah, I think
But
it's clear that
after all this, he can't just fold.
Yeah, I think Sam, even you had mentioned the same thing that you're already committed so many chips into the middle. It just made sense to continue, I suppose. And well, there you have it, folks. That was what we thought was the hand of the day, and there were many other hands after that. But you can catch all of those in the highlights reel that we will be posting very, very shortly. I've been told that we are unable to connect with the winner, so we can just say congratulations to Manas Kalita, who plays as Silver 555, coming back from the middle of the pack, many a time struggling to hold on at this final table. But yes, things going his way. And I think, Sam, let me ask you before we sign off, did you see any, errors in particular by anyone that you thought could have been maybe avoided?
I think there was obviously that big hand with the ace king when it opened the tens, the ace king, but I mean that's all irrelevant because player finished heads up anyway. So I think all in all, the whole final table was a really solid final. And like we said, the player who won eventually just sort of crept out of the bushes towards the end and just swept all the chips up, and it was like highway robbery. So I think it's a really entertaining, really well played final. Not many foots put wrong. And it'll be interesting to see if the accountant is back for some more bookkeeping tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure Mahima is going to probably give us an idea if that is going to happen. I believe you are planning to play the Sunday special as well, right?
Yes, I'm planning to do that.
Fantastic. And what about you I'm sorry, please go on.
And I just wish accountant the best of luck, and it would be lovely to have him back here tomorrow.
Fantastic. That'll be 3 in a row for the accountant, and that'll be one for the books as far as he's concerned. Mahima, just before we go, was there anything that in particular caught your eye as far as the play on this final table was concerned?
Pretty solid by all of these guys. Of course, it was one of the hands jacks. Having said that, definitely a fangirl of Manas from today. What a brilliant play.
Yes, I love the fact that, he didn't give up, just made sure that as long as he had chips, he made sure that he was in it and well in it to win it eventually, of course. So that's it for the final table at this FTS 3.0 Saturday Special. I'd like to take a moment to thank our commentators, Mahima Das Walia, I beg your pardon, Mahima Walia Das, and Sam Razavi, of course, for joining me on this broadcast. Much more action, much more fun to come in the coming days. But make sure that you are a part of the Feast tournament. That's the big 1 crore guaranteed tournament that's going to take place at the end of the series. You can get in for a buy-in of just 2,200, and there's plenty of satellites that are taking place into that event as well. So make sure that you are a part of it. Flights are happening every single day at 4 p.m. at spartanpoker.com. So make sure you get in on the action and get a piece of that feast. In the meantime, though, from myself, Sam Razavi, Mahima Walia Das, and the rest of the production team here, it's goodbye, and we'll see you soon tomorrow evening.